All right. So, first off, Hayate, which is the IGN Tier 10 destroyer. Everything is, of course, work in progress. But there's one thing that you can immediately notice that's different on this ship from its, well, if you want to call it twin. They're not exactly twins. The Shimakaze, which is the only tier... Well, okay, that would be a lie. You have a Harugumo. It's not the only tier 10 IGN destroyer. We have already two. But Harugumo gets one torpedo launcher, which has 6 torpedoes. And it does get a reload booster, so you can launch 2. But it basically gets only 1 launcher. This thing gets 2 launchers of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Shimakaze gets 3 launchers of 5. So, that's the first obvious difference. The guns look slightly different than the rest of the IGN. I mean, you can still see that they are IGN. This is definitely their style. But the guns look slightly different, in my opinion. So I hope I'm not tripping. It does look like it has some AA. I'm curious to see the numbers, of course. So let's take a look at its stats. Well, first we have to equip it. I took the time while there was an intro of the stream to basically put all the consumables on all the ships and all the flags on all the ships. However, I did not put any upgrades. We can do that together. So, main battery mod 1 as usual. Then damage control system as usual. Nothing new there. Then, well, let's see the AA. The AA is actually not that bad. And we will have to see, of course, the guns first. Let's see, it's got 127s, 11.6. The reload is 4 seconds. And the turret traverse is 10 seconds. So these turrets will be turning pretty fast. And they reload pretty damn fast. So we're basically getting some sort of a IGN version of a gunboat. So for third slot, you can go for better accuracy, I guess. Otherwise, I would just suggest go for AA if the accuracy is good enough. But of course, this is just flak, so... the second thing is, of course, propulsion mod for all DDs, unless you're Kaba or stuff like that. IFHE on Belfast? Yes. Concealment? Absolutely. And then we come to the fourth thing, which I can't really equip without seeing the stats. So let's go through it really quickly. 20,800. I believe this is exactly the same number that Somers gets. What is this nasty thing here? Are these 40 mils? Oh, it's got also on the sides. So 20,800, that is without survivability expert. However, Somers gets 20.8 with survivability expert. So this thing will be tankier than Somers. If we go artillery, we already saw it. 3 times 227 mil guns, 11.6. The initial AP and HE shell velocity seems awesome, 915. I honestly don't know how the numbers look on the other IGN DDs. I mean, for example, let's take a look at Shiratsuyu. Oh, it's also 915. Okay, so they do have really fast initial shell velocity. Chance of fire is 10%, which is slightly higher than on the other DDs, which usually get like 8, 9. Yeah, I believe...
Time just flies when you're incoherent. Keep up the outstanding work.
Well, thank you, Brood. Thank you for 3. Welcome to Silver. Also, Penvold, thank you for 4. And Rommel, thank you for the sub. Welcome to the team. If we take a look at the torps, 2 times 5, 12 km range only, 67 knots. Now, I say only because, well, Shima gets ability to go for 20, and Harugumo gets 12. This thing gets 12 as well. These are perfectly fine torpedoes in my book, but 1.7 detection, that is a lot. I mean, Somers gets 1.4 with 16.5 km torpedoes, 66 knots. Or you could go 13.2 with torpedo acceleration and put it to, I 71 knots, and they would, I think, still have, you know, lower detectability than this. So, and you only get 10. They reload atrociously slow, 153 seconds. That is almost 3 minutes reload. That is really, really bad. Of course, they hurt really, really good, or a lot, whatever you want to use. The range is mediocre. It's good, mediocre, good. The damage is awesome. Speed is okay or good. Reload is terrible. Detection is terrible. So you might want to invest in torpedo reload. But then again, if this is a gunboat version of IGN-DD, maybe this thing is going to be very valuable to go full gunboat build. I don't know. We'll see. Something that all the Shima players wanted to do. However, you have to remember that you only get 2 guns in the front and you get 4 guns in the back. So this gunboat DD is going to have a similar problem that Z46 has. With the exception that Z46 at least gets a hydro, which means he doesn't have to broadside too much when he sees the torpedoes coming, which he will, and this thing won't. Anyway, we'll see. AA defense, 8 single-barreled 25mm, which are these regular just machine guns. 5 double 40 mils. That seems a lot for a DD. Let's see where they're mounted. One there, one there. On the other side, there, and on the bow. Okay. And these are dual-purpose guns. Now, I do find this a bit hilarious, because Hayate is an IGN DD. IGN DDs were never really well, depends. If you take a look at the Akizuki, Kitakaze, and Harugumo, then yes, their AA can be very formidable. Otherwise, not a really good AA, right? And this thing gets dual-purpose guns, while Somers and US DDs are known for having good AA, does not get dual-purpose guns. So, yeah, sucks to be Somers when it comes to AA. 102, 1.9 short range. 1020. Oh, that's the okay. That's the shell explosion. 128, 3.5. Wait, this is all 100% efficiency? Wow. So these guns shoot and they hit all the time. Okay. Look at that. 100%, 100%, 95%. 85, 5.8. Okay. We get maneuverability. This is without the AFT, by the way, or any AA boost. Maneuverability 38.9 knots. Again, very fast destroyer. Turning circle 750 meters. Let's compare that to something like Jervis. 590. Us 640. Minsk 690. Holy shit. Katsuki 640. Yeah, I mean these are lower tier DDs, but I don't think tier 10s would be that different either. 750 seems a lot for a tier 10 DD. Like that really seems a lot. 60 meters bigger than Shima. And concealment is 6.8 without the captain. So we can probably drop that another 10%, which means this thing is going to get, what, 6.2? That's terrible. Why would you give this thing the same concealment as Harugumo? What's the purpose of this gunboat if it's going to be worse far worse concealment than any other gunboat? Why would I go for this? Give me one good reason looking at these initial stats why I would want to go for this. When there's Gearing, even bloody Yu Yang, Z52, Harugumo, Raptor Line, thank you for 15. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so let's go for. Let's see how much can we actually drop the torpedo reload. with the captain going full torpedo reload. Okay, so we'll take this. We will be taking last stand, of course. We'll take survivability expert and concealment expert, and then we have to see what we're gonna do with the lost. One thing though that this thing is going to be slightly unique about, you can go for speed boost only and the Democon, but you can go for smoke or torpedo reload booster, which means instead of having like Shima 15 torpedoes or Harugumo 1 of 6 times 2 with the reload booster, you could with this go for 10 times 2, which means 20 torpedoes, which is crazy number. But then you don't have a smoke, and your concealment isn't that great. And I honestly don't think the AA is going to keep you safe from the carriers, as good as it looks for a DD, and you don't have defensive AA. So, yeah, I don't think this destroyer is going to be very, very effective. And those torpedoes, my god, they have a pretty big... pretty shitty concealment. So now comes the question, do you go like gunboat build? Do you go AA? Like you could go BFT and manual, and that leaves you with 2 points to go like AR. You could do this. You could also do these two or these three, but you don't really need this. You could go torpedo reload with BFT, which means you're boosting your torpedoes as much as you can. You're boosting your gun reload as much as you can. And I don't know, AR or even demo expert. But unfortunately, you can't go one thing that would be perfect, and that's manual BFT and torpedo reload booster, you know, with survivability expert. So you kind of have to make up your choice. I say the craziest thing we could do to be, you know, pretty close to being full gunboat build while still boosting torpedoes as much as we can would be something like this. However, you do have to realize that your torpedoes will now be reloading 117 seconds, which is not good, not great, but it's bearable. It's slightly under 2 minutes. And your torpedo reload booster, if you do decide to go for it, is going to be almost 4 minutes. So with proper usage, you could actually sink them every second time. You could fire your torpedoes, 2-minute reload. I mean, fire your torpedoes, use the damage, torpedo reload booster, fire torpedoes. Then the reload starts again. 2 minutes later, your torpedoes are ready. You immediately fire them. And then, like, 45 seconds later, your torpedo reload booster is ready. 15 seconds later after that, your torpedoes are ready again. So this could be a perfect sync, almost perfect sync, if you do have a reason to fire those torpedoes all the time, if you want to go with torpedo reload booster. So if you go like full torp reload, especially if you drop in an AR there, you will have every second time torpedo reload booster ready, because the time this thing takes is basically twice of your torp reload. However, I don't know if this is really gonna be worth it, but yeah. So I think, and your guns will be really, really effective. With a reload of 3.6, you can, if you want to, drop that even further by another 12%, which would drop those guns to 3.2 second reload, which is, you know, for an IGN DD, this is badass. But then your torps would reload, where is it? 137, which means, yeah, not nearly as good sync as you needed. So my suggestion, my initial suggestion would be this kind of a build. And the only difference that I would maybe suggest to take from this kind of a build is drop demolition expert and maybe take AR with I don't know, priority target, whatever. And that might be the best way to go. Of course, you don't have RPF. You could want to go for RPF, which means you drop both BFT and Demo Expert, and you just take AR and RPF. That really depends how much you value this skill, which is a very, really useful and valuable skill. However, it all comes down to, again, how crazy do you want to go? Do you want to go full gunboat build and you don't care about torps? You consider them just secondary weapons? Or do you want to go full torp boat, and then what's the secondary thing you go for? AA, guns, RPF? This is the reason why every time people ask me, like, how do I build my captain? It comes down to your preference and your playstyle. You have to make up your mind, what do you want to go for? Do you want to go for two things in the same time, and then you need to find a balance? Do you want to go just for one thing and you don't care about the rest? Do you want to go for one thing primarily, but there's a secondary thing that you would like to at least improve a bit? You can play with a captain a lot, and I think this ship will be very much experimented on, and we will be seeing same ship with many different builds. Anyway, its maximum concealment turns out to be 6.1, which is like Z52. Between this thing and Z52, I would just take Z52, honestly. I mean, if I meet Z52 with this, what do? Yes, I can engage him in the direct gun conflict, but he can stop, smoke up, and hydro me. My torps will be useless. My torpedo reload booster will be useless. I don't have smoke. If I do have smoke, it's useless. I don't know, can you really kill it or not? I think they should drop the concealment on this another, I don't know, 200 meters to make it at least better than Daring and Harugumo and Z52 and all those. Put it in the branch of the best concealment ships to make it a lot more valuable. Or drop the concealment on the torps, but you got 20 of them. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be tricky. I mean, I don't say this is a bad DD. By all means, I'm looking forward to giving it a go. Jesus, and try it out. But initially looking at it, I don't know. It depends. Okay, the next thing which we have to take a look is Siegfried. This is the tier 9, well, battle cruiser, but it's designated as a cruiser. German, of course. We have an insignia there. Looks like a man standing on top of a octopusy, a dog or something? Dragon? Anyway, if this does remind you of a certain ship, then yeah, it very much reminds me of the Gneisenau, differently looking Gneisenau. These are supposed to be 380 millimeter guns with not a lot of secondaries, but there is some, and it doesn't seem to have a lot of AA, but the AA that I do see is going to be all good caliber. Let's take a look. Once again, I took care of all the signals, camouflages, and consumables. I didn't do the upgrades. You get the Demicon. You can choose between 6 km hydro that lasts for 2 minutes and reloads 6 seconds under 2 minutes. Time taken for 5. Or you can go for defensive AA. I just slotted defensive AA for starters. You can go between a scout and a fighter. You know me, I go for fighter. And you have the same amount of heals as a battleship. This is, of course, without the captain yet. So let's take a look at the modules. This is all pretty standard. We will definitely go for aiming system modification. We will be relying on our guns and nothing but guns, pretty much. It does get torpedoes, but they're basically, just secondary defense weapons. They're a lot better torpedoes than most German ships have, but there still won't be, you're still not going to be torping anyone from God knows where. Now, of course, the last slot is again questionable. What do we go for? Do we boost more AA? This is just, you know, boost the reload. This is definitely not going to be worth it. More range or secondaries. It basically comes down between this and this. Which one of these two are we going to go for? For starters, I'll just put the reload. And then we can take a look later. Survivability, 62,850 hit points with torpedo protection of 37%. Artillery, 3 times 2, 380 mil guns. With the full reload thingies, they reload exactly the same as Jean Bart. I believe Jean Bart reloads 22.9 when you maximum, without losing any HP and the AR effect. The best that you can have at the start is 22.9, which is pretty good, but Jean Bart is a battleship. This thing is not. Turning time is pretty bad. It's 41.4 seconds. So we will definitely need to do the expert marksman. 36% chance of fire. I've seen better, I've seen worse. And 820 meters initial shell velocity of both AP and HE. 20.6 km range. I think that's good enough for a cruiser, honestly. Like, you don't want to be shooting from more than that as a cruiser. Although I don't look at this thing as a cruiser. I basically look at it as a small battleship, I guess. And yes, here are the torps. You get 4 on each side. With probably really, really bad torpedo angles because they're concealed inside. 7.228 secondaries. Torpedoes, 2 times 4, 8 km, 65 knots. So the thing that this is different from the rest is usually you get 6 km torpedoes with the IGNs, with the exception of Graf Spee having, I believe, 8 or 9. I think it's 8. And this is the second ship in the entire Kriegsmarine that's not a DD that gets more than 6. And you get 8 with 65 knots. That's pretty awesome. But then again, I'm really concerned about the angles. 90-second reload. Pretty okay. 1.3 detection, 13.7. They're gonna be okay, but I don't think you will be having a chance to fire. Maybe, like if you see a target on 10 km and you're kind of engaging it, closing in, you turn around, you fire torpedoes, and then you continue going towards it. You turn on the other side, you fire the others, you turn back. By the time you get close quarters, maybe you will have enough torpedoes to shoot. You know, you will have enough reload to get them reloaded again, but that's questionable. Also, one kind of a good thing is that they're not on the deck, so people will mostly be hitting this area, so you won't be losing these torpedoes as often as you do on like Tirpitz. We'll see. The Sigma on this thing is gonna be awesome. I think they said above 2, but I'm not entirely sure. AA defense, 12 quad 40 mils, the infamous quad 20 mils that the Germans have used. Maneuverability, 35.2 knots, 880 I almost said millimeters. Meters turning circle radius with rudder shift of 14 seconds. And concealment, 13.2 without the captain. So let's drop the Capitan. I consider this to be a battleship that I will probably try to play as I would play range Hindenburg. Like stay at distance and spam. But when the time is right, go. So I will not be building it. Do I even need priority target on this thing? Nah. I will not be building it tanky. I will be building it more independent. It's got 42 seconds to traverse, so I will definitely go for expert marksman. We will go for superintendent for those extra heals and stuff. More concealment, and then I will do this. And this. And then I guess we can go AR. And we'll see how this is gonna work. Of course, consumables are damage control party. You could go Hydro, which is 6 km. 2 minutes lost, 2 minutes reload. Or defensive AA. You could go scout plane or fighter. I go fighter. And you get 5 heals, which is just as much as the battleship. So, very much looking forward to trying this ship out eventually. I'm really not sure what to think about it. I mean, in my opinion, it's misidentified. But let's take a look at the last juicy part about it. And that's armor. 27 mils, 27 mils. I believe Donskoy gets 27 mils, right? And we have 30 millimeter deck here. 16 superstructure. I guess it's the same thing on the other. 27, yep. Donskoy gets 25? Ah, okay. Yeah, okay. And the side. Ooh. That could be very interesting. If the shells make it. Ooh. What is this? 90 millimeters only? Ooh. 190. 190. The way down. Aha. So we got 27 mils here. This is the problem the Yamato has, if I'm correct, right? So from a proper angle, you're gonna be hitting this area here and citadeling it, right? 100, 100, 25, 30. That 90mm belt is going to arm the fuses on everything that hits it. There will be no side overpens on that thing. Yeah. So... okay, give me a second. Give me a second. Can I... well, first I need to remember where to do it. Oh god, stop clicking. Oh, it's here. Oh my god. Okay. Don't need the spaceport. There should be... which other port can you see? Oh, naval base. Yeah. Okay, so... yeah, so this citadel is 60 mils. And... that looks like above the waterline to me. Fucking hell, I can't really see it properly in this port either. Let's try spaceport. Yes, now it's better. Yeah, this is above the waterline citadel. Not much. No. No, I think it's... it looks like a couple of millimeters above the waterline, but not much. Like really, really slightly. I don't know. I don't know how survivable this thing is gonna be. And that citadel is 60 mils from there. And if you add these 30, oh, still 90. Well, better than 190, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. These guns are gonna have to work magic, and I somehow doubt that the guns of 380 millimeters will be doing any magic in tier 9 and 10, but who knows? We'll see. I believe we went through this entire thing already. Concealment is 11.9, fully concealed. And yeah. Alright, let's take a look at Ark Royal. Give me a second to actually take a look at this thing. Yeah, they did a lot of detail designing on this thing. Indeed. Indeed. I do find hilarious how this AA looks like. Got some secondaries. 2, 4, 6, 8. Which tier is this? Tier 6, right? Yeah, tier 6. Alright. Take a look. Once again, I equipped the flags. You can't really touch the consumables. 20% speed of air groups returning to the aircraft carrier. I guess. Like we have much better to do. We will go for engine boost plus 10%. And we will go for... She's British. We'll be using rockets more than torpedoes probably. This gives us... yeah. I'm curious to see what kind of a pattern are her dive bombers gonna have. Well, creeping barrage dive bombers, whatever you want to call it. The captain. Ooh, now I need to remember. Aircraft restoration time. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. Continuous damage. Yes. We'll go with that too. Better aiming speed. I guess we'll go concealment, if nothing else, to see how concealed she can be. And yeah, probably this. And then I usually go for this. Okay. Alright, let's take a look at the stats. So 44,500 HP with 28% torpedo protection. It's got attack aircraft, aka rockets. (9 km detectability). Well, you be the judge of these stats. I don't really spend that much time staring at the planes of carriers to be able to really tell you how good or bad these are without trying them. You can be the judge of that. I'm here just to show it to you. And the bombers. Most fun thing about Brits, in my opinion. Artillery, secondaries, 8 double 113 mils, right? A defense, 8 quad 12.7, 6, 8. 6 times 8, 40 mils. Oof, where are these things? Yeah, this thing is freaking nasty. Look at that. And 8 double 113 mils, so these are AA as well. It looks like it has formidable AA. It's 6. 66, 0.9, very short range. Ooh, very, very much short range. At least the long range is solid. 32.6 knots, almost 1,000-meter turning circle, 10.8. Not like you're gonna be moving that much, and 12.6 fully concealed. Yeah, so without the concealment, you're almost like 14 km. In smaller maps, not advisable. So yeah, concealment expert is probably gonna be a must. Yeah. I don't know. Not much to say just by looking at it, honestly. I will have to try this thing out to know how good or bad this thing actually is. Next thing, Thunderer. This thing turned into such a meme on the CC Discord. And April Mouse was like, I want Thunderer. Bloody hell, she got it. Look at all that AA. This ass packs a lot of AA. Curious how easily these things are gonna be knocked out. And Bow's got some AA as well. This is basically a different version of Conqueror. Once again, I equipped the consumables. Nothing really to show. Besides that it's got a defensive AA. It's a battleship with defensive AA. It lasts 40 seconds. Reload time, minute 16. Upgrades I didn't do, so let's go through them together. Main armament modification, as usual. Damage control, as usual. And probably going to be doing the accuracy. I don't see a reason why not to. More survivability thingies. And concealment. No super heal though. Oh, really? And we will go for better reload. I equipped everything apparently besides ammo. Okay, we need to do the Capitan. Let me just see. 41 seconds. Ooh. Okay, we'll do that. Use pendant. Concealment. And now is the question, do we go survivability build like top, or do we go top, or top? Let's take a look. 82.9 thousand HP. Not sure if that's exactly the same as Conqueror, but pretty close. 28% torpedo protection. 4 times 2 457s, and I believe you don't get the option to pick anything else. Yeah. So you want 419s or whatever the hell the Conqueror has the option to. I think it's 419s. You go Conqueror. 26.4 reload. That means it's basically 30 seconds. If you go for the reload upgrade, you get 26.4. We drop the turret rotation to 35.6, which is also. Chance on fire, of course, 65%. In a year or two, we're going to be reaching 100. Mark my words. Firing range, 24.3 with very short, slow shell velocity. Yeah, this looks like just the Conqueror with 457s. I don't know about the Sigma of this one, though. And dispersion doesn't seem that great. 8 times 233 mil secondaries, which I'm not sure, are they also AA? Let's take a look. I doubt it. Oh, they are. So 8 double barrel 133 mil secondaries, 7 times 6 40 mils, 12 times 2 40 mils. Jesus. 8 times 1 40 mil. Everything is fucking 40 mil on this thing. And 4 times 2 20 mils. So, what is that? 40, 60, 70, almost 70, 80, 40 millimeter AA guns. Jesus Christ. I think it's gonna be nasty. Plus defensive AA. Woo. 1.5, 145, 3.5, 856. And 6 km, 127. 4, 18, 18 flak. Okay. 31 knots. That is pretty damn fast for a battleship. 820 meters turning circle. 10.4 rudder shift with a maximum concealment of 12.3. This looks like an AA monster with very low amount of HP. Not that good of a torpedo belt protection. I don't know about Sigma, but... And I can't really compare it right now to the other tier 10 battleships, but 280 meters dispersion. Maybe someone in the chat can give me... I don't know, Montana's dispersion? Or at least Conquerors. What do they have? Very strong AA. Looks like a decent maneuverability. Decent concealment. Very strong HE. I don't know. We'll see. We will see how strong this is going to be. And you said no super heal. It says 596 times 28 seconds. 16,688 HP. 6.6 thousand HP in each heal. You times that with 5, you get 83,440 HP. It can heal more HP than it has. Which is, I believe, twice less than the regular Conqueror or the one that we were testing can do. I think that thing can like heal its HP twice. Republic 299, Montana 297, Conqueror with 281. So it's on par with the rest, but you have to remember that this thing has less guns than the rest. It only gets 8. I don't know. We'll test it out. We'll test it out. Oh, of course. One thing I forgot. We have to take a look at the armor layout. 32 mils, 32, 32, 32, 19. Strong turrets, of course. I'm looking at this thing here. 127. 406 on the side. 297. 38. We get rid of this. 28. We get rid of that. Yeah, above the waterline citadel. So they are proceeding with above the waterline citadel, both on the Conqueror and the Thunderer. Okay. I think we got everything. Yeah, okay. We'll test it out. We'll see. I'm not a huge fan of 457s on the Conqueror. 419s just do it better, honestly. You get more of them, and you just spray and murder everything. 457s do get a higher fire chance, but you also lose 4 guns. That's basically 2 turrets. We'll see. We'll see. And the last and the most unique ship in the game yet, in my opinion, which I'm very much looking forward to trying out. But I also think it's going to be not that good. I think it's going to need some buffs. Is the Friesland. A DD with no torpedo tubes. Yeah. And only 2 turrets. And some really interesting designs here that they didn't talk about. Alright. You get a smoke, which is 30 seconds action time, 127 seconds dispersion. So this is basically US smoke screen. Reload of 152. Yeah. It's gonna spend like 25-30 seconds in between the smoke screens. You can carry 3 plus Superintendent 4. You can go for the FAA. I mean, you have to go for the FAA. 200%. Action time 30 seconds. Real time 76. And you get a Hydro, which is 3.5 for torpedoes. 5 km for ships, which is not bad. And last minute 40. with minute 54 cooldown. Alright. I think we already equipped the camos and the flag. Yep. Now let's take a look at the modules. We'll go for main armament because there is nothing else. Those are anti-sub rockets? Yes, I know. Which makes this even more interesting. Why are they adding ships like this into the game? We will definitely go for aiming systems. Because it only depends on those two guns. Propulsion mod, of course. And concealment. And now the question is, do we go for better reload even more? Because I think this thing is going to have absolutely absurdly insanely fast reload. Or do we actually buff the AA? Because look at that AA rating. I think this might actually be good. But just for the sake of it, let's put this for starters and see how fast can this reload actually be. Let's go with the captain. We put this. We will go last stand. And remind myself of the consumables. Audio FAA and smoke. Okay. Well. Huh. Gonna need. Let's take this and concealment. And now is the question, do we go RPF and superintendent? Do we go RPF and BFT? Do we go these two? Decisions. Oh yeah, what is the caliber of guns? 120 mils? I don't think 120s need FHE. I don't think that changes anything. If it's below 120, then you need it, but I don't think they need it. 4.3 range, it's pretty nice. I don't know. This could be. This is also going to be just like Hayate, another ship that you can probably temper around a lot with. Like, do you go even crazier? All three of these for the sort of a gunboat build, or do you go crazy on the AA? And do you need RPF? What is the concealment? Concealment is terrible. Holy shit, 6.4. With concealment 6.4. I don't get a heal though. I don't get the heal. So I don't need superintendent. I could go for manual and then priority target. Or I could go for BFT and AR. Yeah, let's go BFT and AR. We're doing the gunboat build. BFT also profits the AA. I think this could be one of the best things. Of course, you could pump more into AA. Alright, let's take a look. Max HP 20,750, which is 50 HP, I think, less than Sommer's, which is a tier 10 DD. This thing is a tier 9, so that's a pretty good HP for a tier 9. We get only 2 guns in the front, 2 guns in the back. These 120 mils. The range is 12.3. They reload 1.4 seconds. I think that is about as fast as Harugumo full gunboat AR can go. I don't think it goes lower than that. And this thing gets 1.4 by default. I mean, with all the boosts, but without the AR. So with AR, this thing is going to be reloading, what, a second? Turret traverse is pretty good. Chance of fire 9%. It can pen 19mm. Solid shell velocity, definitely better than US. but I am not really sure how good the gun angles on this thing are gonna be. I think when you turn this turret, it won't be able to shoot more than this, which is not exactly a great angle. Like if it was able to shoot like this, if this wasn't in the way, and it was able to shoot like this, like the rear turret, you're gonna have to kind of slightly broadside, be able to use these turrets effectively. Let's also take a look at it real quick. I don't know. We'll see. AA defense, 6 single-barreled 40 millimeters. 2 there, 2 in the back, probably 2 in the middle, and at least these are dual-purpose guns, and that's it. That's all the AA has. 6 40 mils and 420 mils. It's probably the rate of fire which gives it this insanely strong AA rating then. Because this rate of fire is just nuts. It's got no short range. It's mid and long range. 474, 8 explosions, 3.5 km range, 6 km range, 16, another 6. That's 14 flak. Oof, for a DD, that's absurdly a lot. Huge numbers on the flak. And that's around a bit less than 800 damage constantly. And you get a def AA, yeah. Def AA that boosts another 200%. But you get 2, 4, 6, and these 4. That's 10 AA guns. Rocket planes and dive bombers, when they nuke out a couple of these, you lose a lot. I'm very, very curious to try this out. Maneuverability, 37.8 knots. That is pretty fast, but it doesn't get a speed boost, and you can't slot it even if you want to. A lot of these new destroyers that are coming have really high speed. 4-second rudder shift, 620 turning circle, and the maximum concealment is 6.4. Like, this is the major problem that I have with this thing on paper. You don't have torpedoes. So, no matter how close you get to the enemy destroyer, you still have to use your guns. No matter how close you get to a cruiser or a battleship, you can't torp them. You will never do devastating strikes. Unless you ram someone, I guess, if that counts. You will never be able to save yourself with torps when somebody rushes you. And you will never be able to rush someone. This is the main problem. Why did they decide to put 6.4 detection by sea? This thing should be extremely small detection, so you can actually sneak really close to people or disengage really close if you decide to. You should be able to pick the fights for yourself. 6.4 in tier 10 is the worst concealment after Kaba. I think this is a great mistake. I think this destroyer should be the hunter of enemy destroyers. And with a 5 km hydro range, I think they should make this destroyer what the daring was originally supposed to be. Like, I don't know, 5.5. So you can out-detect all other DDs and decide, do you want to engage them or not. You will never be able to torp them. They have nothing to be afraid of you. They just need to run. And cruisers and battleships are going to be attacking you with zero fear. Zero fear. They will be broadsiding you. They won't be even trying to dodge or turn. There's nothing you can do. You smoke up, they will just charge you in the smoke with zero fear of you actually killing them. So I think that initially the design is very interesting and I can't wait to try it out. But I think they need to really, really buff the sea detection. The air detection is pretty damn good. 2.3 is awesome. I think Venom has the same, and it does help. Detectability after firing from main guns and smoke is also relatively high. I mean, 3. Of course, if you would decrease this to 5.5, this would also significantly drop. Or at least make it 5.6, 5.7, but 6.4. Dadcraft, thank you for the sub. Welcome to the team. I think this is the only mistake that they initially did. I really can't understand why. But it is
4
what it
months
is.
of helping Flambino with the cat food bill. Money well spent.
Thank you, Rimner. Appreciate it, man. So, yeah, but I think Evan from Wargaming did say, when they were talking about it in the stream, that they don't know if this is actually going to work or not, if it's going to be too strong or too weak, and that they are prepared to, you know, buff it if need be, and maybe even add some torpedoes. You can actually see that there's plenty of space here for actual torpedo tubes on both sides, I guess, with a bit of rearranging. So, I don't know, they're probably going to do something to this ship, because I don't think it's going to be that good in this initial state. And it's not British, so it doesn't get those fast reloading smokes. They expect this destroyer to be sailing around pretending to be a Kaba with 4 guns. It's a weird design. It's a really weird design. I would much rather prefer giving British smoke screen to this destroyer and giving it British concealment. And then seeing how this is going to play out. Mazdas, thank you so much for 5 gifted subs. Welcome, everyone. With those two things, with really, really good concealment and British smoke screen, I would be, like, super hyped about this ship. Unfortunately, with only 3 and maybe 4 US smokes and really terrible Farragut concealment, I don't know. We'll see. That's it when it comes to the 5 ships that I'm only able to show you as a